Many thanks for listening to us. Many thanks for listening to our presentation. This is our solution for the Asking Sport Innovation Challenge. On the Freeride World Tour, we're looking at the money question. And now, just before getting on to our answer, what I want to share with you is what drove us to this answer. And we start with this quote from Gabor George Burt, who says that meaningful innovation does not necessarily need to be based on outright invention. Now, why am I saying that? There are two things in here that we strongly believe. The first one is that to innovate, you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. So if you have a great product, you just need to structure it in a way that is fit for the market so that you can market it as you want. And the second one is that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Now, if you go to why am I saying that? It is because we need to learn and learn and learn from successful sport business models. And what we notice now is that basically all successful models heavily rely on broadcasting revenue. Freeride World Tour doesn't. And why that? We looked at it, and from our standpoint, the ski is really centric to the model, and sponsorship and media are a bit disregarded in that sense. What we want to encourage Freeride World Tour to do is to restructure their product so that media and sponsorship are at the center of it. And the ski is simply supporting, but it's a great support tool, don't get me wrong. Now, about the plan, we're right now at the starting point. We're in year zero. As I just mentioned, the sporting model is not really fit for media broadcasting, and we have a clear lack of sellable properties. What is the answer to that? The answer to that is Ruben, and he's going to tell you a bit how we're going to do it.
Thank you very much, Ludo. Now, as we just talked about, we understand the problems that we see the Free World Tour has. Now, to answer the first question of an unfit media broadcasting product, we're proposing two solutions. The first is that we move from a 5-day to a 2-day event schedule. What this means is that Freeride World Tour would be hosted on the Saturday or the Sunday of every week. That would mean that if weather doesn't permit, though, just like they do now, they could do it on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Along with that 2-day schedule, we think that we'd be able to enhance each broadcast by choosing a more strategic line of the mountain, but also the mountain itself. With these two proposals, we think we'll create a better product for the broadcasting rights. Now, in order to create more sellable properties, we want to do one big change, which is introduce a team championship to accommodate different types of sponsors and naming rights. In addition to the individuals, we want to create this team championship with 4 to 5 different teams, just like what F1 does. The naming rights would be able to encompass each individual team, but also the team championship as a whole. Once we have these two in place, we think that we have a better defined product to come to a negotiation with broadcasting agencies. Now, to go further on in year 3, we want to increase the number of tour events. We want to increase the number of athletes, probably to 25 per discipline, and then also have a rotating weekend structure per discipline. But we know that there's a type of constriction on people at each event, so we're proposing 50 per event. Now, with all of this in place, what do we see is going to actually happen for Freeride? We think that a team event will generate new properties to sell, increasing their income. We think that the broadcasting the product will increase their revenue and fan engagement long into the future. We think that with more media coverage, there will be a higher incentive for resorts to actually bid for each event. And finally, with the amount of females within the sport, it's going to be increasing to 50. We think that there's more female representation, which will lead to more females within the sport. So that's a very quick representation of what we believe we can bring to the Freeride World Tour. We wanted to thank you for the time, and we really enjoyed working on this project, and hopefully we will see you in Bern. Thank you very much.
So welcome on behalf of my entire time and myself, Tanya. I welcome you to our presentation that answer the following questions. So how the Freeride World Tour needs to differentiate his revenue streams in order to grow economically. So after some evaluations, interviews, readings, for example, we could see that the tour has some small problems. Indeed, the values of safety, performance, fun, and trust, for example, are not always respected. To explain it a little bit further, sometimes the race conditions are not so perfect, and so the athletes have to choose between safety or performance, and this also limits their fun, and this is a little bit of a problem. And then it can be sometimes boring and less stimulating, since the Freeride World Tour is small and sometimes the competition is too low for them. The last problem for the Freeride World Tour is the trust. So as we saw with the sponsors, sometimes they have a problem that there is no long-term contracts. And this means that the sponsor don't trust enough the company or the company strategy to have long-term contracts. So this is the reason why we came up with these two problem solvers. The first is Kids and Talent Transfer Camp. These are 1 or 2 camps trying to broaden the base of the pyramid to the athletes. So the idea is to collaborate with ski schools or ski clubs. And for ski school, try to bring to children the free riding with safety. And for the ski clubs, the idea would be to take the athletes with maybe 14 that are stuck with the alpine skiing and bring them to freeriding, so a transfer. So the idea is to try to have a fun and safe camp to attract a wider freeriding community, and also to scale the base and the revenues, because people will pay to participate at the camp, and also people will stay at the destination, so they will give money to the destination. And as a third, there is also a possibility to have a main sponsors. So Switzerland is very well known for this. For example, if you know the Grand Prix Migros for skiing, it's already well known and it works very good. So we think it would be like the perfect place to start with this freeride culture. Then the second is Heroes of Powder and Wilderness. So the idea is to bring the stars athlete more to the star. So push for backcountry, flexible date for having perfect conditions. So the competition will not be anymore in the skiing area, but outside. And this will allow the athletes to give a better performance and to have more fun. This means also better streaming and more beautiful videos for the television, but also for the sponsors, which they can do in the end of the season a better after movie, for example. So our solution is to guarantee excellences and real presence for both the low part of the pyramid and the top. And this is, in our opinion, the secret sauce to secure the revenues. It will bring stability. It will show the sponsors that we have a stable base. And so it will lead to success because more athletes will come to the Freeride World Tour. So this is exactly what we need, in our opinion, to have a very well working Freeride World Tour. Thank you for your attention, and we hope our solution will be the right one.
Our central idea is how we could bring more cash in the environment of freeride in this sport. And if we would like to achieve this goal, we must do more events for fans of the whole world, and we have looked for these places where are there, and where are these, and I will show these to you in this presentation. Our group is Mike Saxer, Elias Herdmeier, Pascal, that's my name, I am this person, Lars Ziegler, and Cedric Schanz. Schanz survive the financial situation, grow, make profit in the long run. That's very important. Competitors currently, FWT has 50 professional riders. If FWT could increase the number of riders, they can increase their income entry fees. Events will last longer, more expensive tickets, and potentially a certain amount of young riders, 21 and under per event. This will keep the sport bringing in more young talents. And events, currently only 5 events. Events are held in Canada, King Horse, Spain, Baquera Beret, Andorra, Ordino Arcalis, Austria, and Switzerland. 2 events in January, 1 event in February, and 2 events in March. Through this way, we could become more we could growth, and that's very important for, and that's our goal. Highest digital audience is the yes, we have looked also for that. Which land is that are looking very the tournaments of this sport, and here we have the statistics. Highest digital audience is in the United States, and North America is the 20th and K market with almost 395,000 fans across all FWT platforms. New event in United States, combine it with the event in Canada, and plan them after each other to save transport costs. Here also in Canada, Kicking Horse, the live broadcast breakdown is created by 162K total views. The digital audience in Canada is the 5th largest worldwide. Let's find a new location in Canada for event. New location in Canada will attract new spectators and increase audience. The use of geographic segmentation to find new location to optimize income. France is the second highest digital audience in 2022 with 1262, a new event in France, and the other lands here in Italy, in Andorra, is there also many people who like to see this sport, and it is really interesting for that. Partnerships is good through this way to find more partners and new sponsors, and through this way we will achieve that. Thank you for your time. My name is Pascal, and yes.